Round 3 of the IndyCar season is here. Hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of our 2025 IndyCar Career Mode from, well, the most prestigious road race on the IndyCar schedule. It's Long Beach here, the streets of Long Beach, and I'm excited for this one. I love street racing and any form of racing when it comes to IndyCar, Formula One, NASCAR as well. I just love being in the streets and trying to tackle the close quarters with the barriers right there on your right and your left the entire way. And here we are from Long Beach, jumping straight into qualifying here and seeing what we can put up on the board, as we have had a rough start to our career. I mean, of course, with the DNF in round 1 and round 2 in Sebring had its ups and downs, but it was full-blown chaos. We got a fairly solid first part of the race, and then we screwed up the strategy with poor caution timing, ended up with a pretty poor result. So a rough start to our first couple of races when I felt like we had decent pace in the first couple of races now, and immediately in qualifying we've crashed a car into the barrier, and qualifying for us has come to an end already, and we'll have to accept starting from the back here on Sunday, as Pato O'Ward would go pole position in qualifying. So he is looking fantastic for Sundays. To see the rest of the qualifying order on your screen, and that is already worst case scenario within the first minute pretty well of this video. We've got some work to do now for Sunday, and speaking of Sunday, we come into Sunday ready to go racing with Pato O'Ward, Scott McLaughlin there with McLaren, and then Penske on the front row. How about Santino Ferrucci, who won P3 over Scott Dixon in 4th there, as we start all the way from the back. Pato O'Ward, Scott McLaughlin, 1-2, ready to lead the field to green, and the green flag is out here from Long Beach. Now we're racing, and it's going to be 35 laps here in the streets of Long Beach, and we can run about 25 laps on a tank of fuel. So once we hit about lap 10, the fuel window will open, and you don't be surprised if you see some similar strategy to what we saw last time out in Sebring, where some drivers are going to try and pit as soon as we hit the fuel pit window. As you can see, Ferrucci moves through into P2 right off the bat, so a great start for him. And of course, that AJ Foyt, number 14, as you can see, everyone already single file sorting things out. I was not able to make up any track position there, as I'm behind the Juncos Hollinger Racing Team pair right here of Connor Daly, as well as Stingray Robb there just in front of him. So as I make a move now on Connor Daly, looking to take the position, as we'll go through and say thank you very much, but hold on, Daly's going to fight back up my inside, and he's going to take the position back. The veteran saying absolutely no way you're getting that from me on lap 1 of 35. We're going to fight hard for the 27th position now, as yeah, I mean, we're fighting hard for dead last, but we, I feel like, have some decent pace, but my big problem is that right there, the car steps out and we make a huge save. I mean, we were aimed straight at the wall, and fortunately we keep it going in the right direction. As you can see, struggling a lot this weekend from qualifying to the race with just finding comfort, because this car really likes to step out on me, and I was struggling with that fact, unfortunately, here. As you can see, we are on the green stripe. That's the alternate tire, so we will be going on to the Blackwall primary for our first and hopefully only pit stop a little bit later on. So I was just trying to keep a level head here, settle down, and put ourselves, you know, in position, and be ready for the taking if someone makes a slip up or just any opportunity arises. Now, what I was considering was a strategy that we saw in Sebring from other drivers, and we'll probably see it today, is pitting a bit early and trying to gain track position, because overtaking is difficult here in Long Beach. It's almost like a Monaco of Formula One, but I say that, but Scott McLaughlin is going to make it look easy. Drives right around the outside of Santino Ferrucci, says thank you very much. He'll move through into P2. Ferrucci down into 3rd. Kirkwood, Scott Dixon there, 4th and 5th, and just behind them you got Joseph Newgarden. But for myself, still no gains quite yet. Just kind of biding my time, like I said, waiting for the opportunities to open up. And I was quite confident that these opportunities were going to come our way, and you can see right on the back still of Daly, who's just a few car lengths off the back of his teammate of Stingray Rob, and then you got David Malukas up there in front of Stingray Rob. Now, as you can see, showing the nose again, but not quite close enough, and now Rob's actually defending against his teammate of Daly, so it's kind of, when you see that right there, when you see that guy back up in front of the guy right in front of you, they're backing each other up, and then that's putting them closer to me, but we're all slowing each other down, so that was getting a little bit annoying, but nonetheless, finally with an opportunity to get right to the back of Connor Daly here on lap 5 of 35. You notice I was using the normal iRacing UI. I'll be using both in this episode, and I want you guys to let me know down below which one you prefer more. But a move up the inside of Daly now, maybe finally moving through into 27th. He continues to fight hard now, but I'm not going to lift this time now. We need to put this advantage of this alternate tire to use, and Daly finally backs out, and we worked really hard for 5 laps just to gain 1 position for 27th, but it didn't take long to put some pressure on the back of Stingray Rob. Now, here we go for a move up the inside, and I felt like I'd learned quite a bit from the battle with Connor Daly there, at what points I need to put my car in a certain lane. I need to be on the right side into that corner that we just were in, and that's where we were, and it's working out pretty well. We still go side by side, and we take the position. P26, we're starting to move forward. A bit of a gap between myself and the cars in front, but everyone's, like I said, struggling to pass, and that's allowing me to close up. Now, Santino Ferrucci is still in third, but he is 5 seconds off of second place Scott McLaughlin, and backing up everybody behind him. Kirkwood, Dixon, Newgarden, Marcus Ericsson, all right there behind him, and they can't find a way past. And you can see I'm right here on the back now of David Malukas. Now, new team for Malukas this season. We're going to show the nose up the inside and go for the 25th position now, wheel to wheel. This is not the preferred lane. We've already learned that with the battle with Connor Daly, but we get clear, not quite. Malukas fires one back up the inside and into the barrier, actually, with the left rear, but that doesn't do any harm to the car. But Malukas takes the position back. He'll maintain track position for now. I show the nose. It's not going to be enough right there. I didn't feel comfortable with sending it. So now to lap 9, again, a send on Malukas here up the inside, trying to get the job done. And I know this is just not where we want to necessarily be, but I was doing whatever I could because at some point it's got to work, I felt like. But I'm going to let Malukas get a position there, and I was trying to do a little crossover, but it lost the rear end, so that got completely eliminated as we eventually come to now lap 10, and now perfect position using the push to pass to fire one up the inside into turn 1, and Malukas is still not lifting. As we head into the fountain, I need to back out because Malukas says I am not going to be the one that lifts, so he forces my hand as Jacob Abel, you see at the top of the screen, and others are going to start coming into the pits. We have hit the fuel window. Graham Rahal as well, teammate there coming in at Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan, and there goes Malukas into the pits now, and you might notice the big bar in front of you there for the arrow screen, so I had to reset my graphics on iRacing before I recorded this episode, and I never even noticed the bar until I was actually editing the video and realized that I didn't turn the bar off. When I was actually racing, my eyes just didn't pick it up, and I had no problem actually doing the race, so I will get that fixed for your viewing pleasure for next episode when we head to Alabama for the Barber race course. Now is the leader of Pato Award, comfortably about 3 seconds ahead of McLaughlin. Pits, McLaughlin stays out, so McLaughlin's probably going long game. Ferrucci pits as well from third, and several others are going to stay on the racetrack, so I say, okay, let's pit right now. So we're going to come in on lap 11. We can get to the end of this race, no problem on fuel from here. So we'll get fuel, we'll get 4 tires, we'll be going onto the Blackwall primary. I felt like we had pretty well used up what we had on that green stripe alternate tire, so we'll get the Blackwall primary on and we will continue from there. So I feel like this is going to be a good call, and hopefully this will gain us track position. Of course, we're going to have to just keep it clean and hope this race stays green. We have seen some awkwardly timed cautions in both races that have completely screwed up strategy and have created a bit of a surprise winner now as we rejoin the track here, and it's going to be behind Callum Ilott. Graham Rahal's coming up the inside. Jacob Abel's coming up behind us, but we nonetheless get back going, and we've gotten in front of Malukas by 3 seconds and in front of Abel as well, so that's worked out pretty well for us as we are already a net gain of 2 positions just in the pit stop that we just did, and we know that there's still more pit stops to come for other drivers, and we're going to have a tire advantage. So as that doesn't help though, making a bit of a mistake, and that allows Abel through, who had actually run me down over the course of the last lap because we were on cold tires, having to get get these tires to warm up. Of course, you're giving up a good chunk of time to the cars behind you or in front of you as well that have already got a lap or so to warm up their tires. So we drop a second back from Jacob Abel. You see the, of course, new UI back on the screen. So let me know, you prefer the iRacing UI or the custom one right here that we have? Your feedback would be greatly appreciated. Nonetheless, trying to run these guys down in front of us. Abel about a second in front. Rahal Ilott there as well, not far in front of us though. A lot of drivers though still running the long game that haven't pitted yet, as you can see, still struggling with the comfort in this car. I mean, losing the rear end, and fortunately we keep it going in the right direction there, but definitely something that we've been, like I said, battling with since qualifying. The just rear of this car trying to step out as we continue to just try and hold off Malukas and Rob and Daly all there behind us and get a little bit closer to Jacob Abel, and that's exactly what starts to happen here over the next few laps here. Lap 16 coming to lap 17, and we are getting a lot closer to the rear wing of Jacob Abel's car. So far, I mean, I felt good about our pace. It's just track position is so important. It's really difficult to pass here in Long Beach, as you can tell, but we eventually do run down Abel, and now we're looking to gain a position on him here. We're currently scored P25, but once this pit cycle runs its way through, I think we'll be closer to maybe like an 18th or a 19th. Which is a good step up. I feel like we've honestly got top 15 pace at the minimum. It's just, like I said, it's so hard to pass and we don't have the track position to work with. Nonetheless, now putting some pressure on the back of Abel. Graham Rahal 2 seconds down the road. Malukas about 0.4 of a second behind myself, still putting on some pressure there as we continue to look for ways to maybe get around the car in front, and a good run off the corner. Now Abel though gets a bit of a better run, but we're still close to put some pressure on him. He defends left. We dive it up to the right side around the long way. Can we make this happen for the position? The answer is no. We self-spin on the exit of the corner all on our own, and we're going to get it collected. Here comes the leader of McLaughlin to lap us. He is not yet pit, so he's going to go through. We go a lap down, and we give up track position and time, and that was just a huge self-inflicted error. Just too much confidence around the outside, trying to force something that wasn't working, and around we go. Just a disaster right there waiting to happen. We get away without any damage. Fortunately, McLaughlin nearly runs into us, which would have been my fault. And at the end of the same lap, McLaughlin actually pits from the lead, maybe scared after seeing me crash and worried about maybe a caution ruining his race. He says, I'm going to get into the pits right now. And we would start to see a lot of drivers flood into the pits that haven't made their pit stops yet. So Marcus Ericsson, Nolan Siegel, as well as Christian Lundgaard all out in front right now, but they still have to pit. Pato O'Ward is still on pace to be the leader of this race once the pit cycle has gone through. So we have recovered fairly well. I mean, we got the car back collected and going pretty quickly, and we are running down the guys in front of us again. So we're going to have to make some more passes. We're going to have to repass Daly, Rob, and Malukas just to get back to where we were originally. So that's, of course, the idea here, is to get back to where we were and then try to, of course, make some headway from that point on. But certainly disappointed in myself there with making that mistake. And now Ericsson and the rest of the guys up front are all coming into the pit. So Lundgaard, Kiffin Simpson as well up there in the top three briefly, but he's as well in the pit. So everybody now is coming in and finishing their pit cycle, and this will cycle Pato O'Ward back out to the front here momentarily now, as we're going to go for a lunge around the outside of Connor Daly. You can see some drivers up there in front of us that have just pitted and struggling on cold tires, including Felix Rosenquist right there just in front of Stingray Rob. You see it in the right bottom, it says out. That just means he's on the pit out lap as we use our push to pass on the back of Rob. So we've completed the pass on Daly, now looking for the pass on Stingray Rob. We'll take it, thank you very much, and there's 2 positions gained. Can we get Rosenquist and then put our focus on David Malukas? Now this is proving that we've got pace. There's teammate and fellow Canadian Devlin DeFrancesco as well coming out of the pits now, so we know he's going to be quite a bit off the pace on these cold tires. So there's another spot, but as well Rosenquist, he's going to find some temperature pretty quickly over this next lap, so he's going to be able to find some more pace in it. So we need to attack now, and that's what we're going to do. A move to the outside of the Meyershank driver, and we'll go around the outside of him and DeFrancesco, who's still struggling to get up to temperature. Thank you very much as we continue though to slip and slide in this car. We have just been off of the just comfort level and off the pace, really, it felt like, since we put on the Blackwall primary. But I can't really say off the pace because, I mean, once we're in clean air, I mean, we've been flying. So we have driven up to the back just about of David Malukas. We're back into 23rd inside this top 25, and you got Malukas and Abel right there in front of us. Marcus Armstrong for P20 is only 2.4 seconds up the road. So, I mean, we're still very much in the conversation to even get into the top 20, which honestly, considering what we did in qualifying, I'd be pretty happy with that. And of course, with the self-spin and a top 20 at a track is hard to pass as Long Beach. Just really, I chose the worst track to crash out in qualifying. As you can see right there, Malukas went for the move on Abel. It didn't work, and now the door is open for myself here as we head down into the right-hander. Still side by side. Malukas now is actually self-slide again and into the barrier. Damage on the car. The front wings torn off, and the caution's actually going to fly for that one. Yellow flag is out. A car stopped in the middle of the track with debris. The yellow flies, and that is a savior, but at the same time, more frustrating than anything. As you see, your running order with O'Ward as well as McLaughlin and Dixon, the top three different teams, but we have to come into the pits to get this car fixed. Fortunately, I did not damage the suspension, so it's just a front wing change that we need to do, which is only going to take 5 seconds. So that could have been way worse. But this has really been a terrible, terrible race for myself. And look at this mess when we were coming back towards the green flag here. Someone's gotten some damage. A couple cars would pick up damage, specifically Renus VK, Alex Rossi, as well as Graham Rahal actually all picked up damage somehow under the safety car. So we get back racing here, and it's a complete mess, and I'm like, what are we even doing here? As Pato O'Ward continues to lead the field, but we are only going to have about 9 laps of racing to go in this race. So it's just, you know, now or never. We got to go forward, but Graham Rahal's into the pits. Alex Rossi is going to be coming in, and as well Felix Rosenquist. I'm not sure if he's going to be pitting or not, but we just gained a spot right there on Rahal and Rossi, and I believe Rosenquist as well. So we just got 3 free positions because of some clear awkwardness under the full course yellow right there, and now we're on the back of Alex Palou. I was going to look after the race what happened to Palou because he should not be back here, and I forgot, so I'm not sure exactly what put Palou in the back of the field, but he must have got caught up in something and picked up some damage somewhere, and of course lost some time during a pit stop because, yeah, he's down here in 23rd as we run P24. Robert Schwartzman, sorry, that was the other driver that found himself in the pits, not Rosenquist. So Schwartzman picked up some damage there. Your round 1 winner, of course, from the Chicago Street Course. Look at Palou looking for the move on Connor Daly. He'll dive one up the outside into turn 1. He'll make it easy. Palou goes through, and we have to settle in behind Daly, waiting for the right opportunity again. But we don't got much time to waste. At this point, we've hit lap 30 of 35. We got 6 laps of racing to go. We have no time to waste. I'm still feeling like we can go fight for a top 20 here, and now a move to the right side of Connor Daly. You got Palou, and there's Renus VK on cold tires again because he had to pit for damage, and we'll go around the outside of Daly, trying to go for a move on Palou. Didn't make it happen. Look at Palou, gets clear easily of VK into the next corner, and we'll go around the outside, follow through as well. That pass, of course, not for position, but nonetheless, now you see Rossi backing up Palou as well after he had pitted for some damage as well. Using my push to pass, a move up the right side of Palou. Can we make this happen? Into the right-hander, side by side. It's close quarters racing. Palou backs out of it. We take the 22nd position and now aim for the top 20 as we get closer to 21st of Stingray Robb, who's about a second up the road, but only 4 laps to go, and Alex Rossi is planted in front of me a lap down with the damage he picked up under yellow, and he was not really showing any intentions of moving out of my way. So this was going to be a new challenge for myself here as we continue to follow Rossi and just looking for the opportunity. Of course, we're gonna have to drain our push to pass, I feel like, but you can see we would run him down and we would follow him right up to the back of Stingray Robb, and here's an opportunity. We're gonna get aggressive up the inside now. He showed the door and we opened it further, and he backs out of it actually, so he lets me through pretty easily, and now we are just a few tenths of a second. Look at the run on the back of Robb. He's got nothing for us now. We'll breeze past him here, and we'll take the position back up into P21. Our teammate Devlin DiFrancesco up there 3.7 seconds down the road, coming to just the final couple of laps. Can we get to him him and get into the top 20 to salvage a terrible day and make it, not good, but a little bit better. 2 laps to go. The gap is under 3 seconds. We are reeling him in very quickly. We've got quite a tire advantage as well because we pitted for a new fresh set of alternates when we crashed right there, brought out the caution. And now we continue to run him down. 1 lap to go in Long Beach. Not the weekend we really had in mind. We crashed out in qualifying, started from the back, and it's been a difficult day since then. We had a self-spin where we picked up no damage, recovered from that self-spin, crashed into the barrier. Fortunately, don't destroy the car, only lose the front wing, and we've rebounded up into P21, as well as some misfortune for others as I do pick up a bit of wing damage there, pushing a little bit too hard against the barrier now, but the gap is still closing between myself and DeFrancesco. Pato O'Ward right on the back of him. It's Scott McLaughlin through the final few corners, but it's not enough from McLaughlin. Pato O'Ward will round the final turn, slow off the exit, but still not enough from McLaughlin. O'Ward gonna come through to win with McLaren here in Long Beach over McLaughlin, Dixon, and Newgard in 3rd and 4th, and we have run down Devlin DeFrancesco. We get maybe one shot at it. It's gonna have to be a move of desperation into this final hairpin, going for it, and I realize it's not gonna happen, so I back out of it. We actually clip the right rear and lose that left front wing, but that's okay. We backed out of it knowing I was probably gonna crash him if I really tried to stick it in there, and we crossed the line for P21 here from Long Beach. It was difficult to pass all day, and I think Santino Ferrucci really proved that well. It was pretty well impossible to pass him. Only a few cars did, and he ends up still in 5th position. But yeah, you see the podium there as well. A great day for Newgard and Nolan Siegel as well in P7. Great race for him. Same for Christian Rasmussen. Will Power there in P9. As you see the rest of the finishing order there, but just short, of course, of the top 20 for us. Not exactly what we wanted, but it still worked out fairly well for a recovery drive. Now, looking at the point standings, Scott McLaughlin on the top after his win in Sebring as well, in a second here today. He's 10 points ahead of today's winner of Pato O'Ward. Ferrucci 3rd in the standings over Siegel and Dixon, the top 5, separated by just 22 points. And for myself, we're down in 24th in the standings. A lot of work to do going forward. Below a slow start to the season, down in 16th. Next episode, we have the Barber Grand Prix, so that's going to be very exciting. Alabama Grand Prix, it's usually quite an interesting race, so I'll see you guys in that next one for round 4. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.